Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video I wanted to recap the top basically 5 teams you can run for the Gloommaw Primal Lord based on all the testing yesterday as well as today. The really only change is that there is a swap for Velka which is working on the VN server very well, but currently on the global server we're still having survival issues with that, but I did want to share that for upcoming days. Because I think the thing is, some people are just missing having Velka built on their account, but apparently Velka is working at lower ascension, as long as she's like legendary plus or above, for a shielding and attack speed buff. Like, basically it seems like she's working. But anyway, we're gonna show you the top team and we're gonna rank it in order. So the number 1 team, if you have these heroes built, but you need to have Baelran at Supreme Plus. Before Supreme Plus, Baelran is not doing very well in this comp. So you have the Baelran here, Damon, Ludwig, Velka, and then Twins. This is the top performing team if you have all of these heroes built. And again, I think Velka can work at lower ascension. She should work. However, the thing is, for people who do not have Velka at all, or people who have maybe a lower ascension Velka and it's not really working, there is a swap working on the VN server, but we're going to need a higher resonating level for this. We're probably going to need the red legendary charms, but then eventually you can breathe a sigh of relief because this team is almost matching the scores of the Velka team. I'm going to show you a screenshot right now from the VN server. The scores are so similar, whether the person's running Niru or whether they're running Velka in the same position of this team. So if you have Niru build but your Velka's lower ascension, once your levels are high enough, you can just switch to Niru and it will do almost the same. But otherwise the heroes are the same position and you're still going to need a Supreme Plus Baelran if you want to run this team. Now, if you don't have Baelran, then really the kind of next best top performing team is this team from Psycho Pocho. This is the team I showed you yesterday, but I didn't know exactly how competitive it was. But definitely when we get higher resonating levels, this is the best no Baelran team. Even right now for some players, this is currently the best no Baelran team. You need to have Pandora at Supreme Plus, because then that skill upgrade is basically going to cause the Shemira who's in the box to be immune to the frighten and fear of the ultimate of Pandora, which is important. You need that to happen. So Pandora Supreme Plus, then you have Shemira built. A lot of people have Shemira built, of course, but this is again a Velka team. And apparently Velka is kind of needed in this team, but really when I look at this team, I want to consider using Ludwig rather than Velka as well, because Ludwig is another strong hero that is also like working in this Primal Lord. So really individually, what I would recommend to people is that you can do your own testing, like because we have plenty of time before the end of the Primal Lord, you can test like, you know, Velka here, replace Velka for Ludwig, maybe if your Velka is not highly ascended, or even replace them for Niru, because Niru also is kind of like a Velka swap right now, which is doing pretty well. But anyway, this team is the best no Baelran team, and it will only get better as time goes on and our resonating level increases. This is with the Aerostorm spell. Now, apart from this, we have other teams. So we have the Faramor team. The standard Faramor team is this one, Kix G's formation. This one is also doing very solid for people right now. It is kind of also one of the top performing no Baelran teams, and sometimes even the top performing no Baelran teams for certain players. You have the pink turn on the right, blue turn on the left, Damon and Ludwig on the Syllabon. And again, it has the Velka. It has a Velka, it has a Blood Moon spell, and it has Faramor. However, there is the swap for Velka here, swapping to Niru, is something which was tested even on the global server, and there was only a 7 billion damage reduction by swapping Velka to Niru. But Niru did die. So like right now Niru is kind of dying. That's kind of the issue. But basically this is a viable swap. Like, you know, if you don't have Velka at all, you can run Niru in this position and only give up on like 6 to 7 billion damage, which is not so bad. So this is also a swap. And I think when we have better survival, we have the red charms and higher resonating level, then maybe even this one will be a decent swap, Niru for Velka, if needed, if someone doesn't have a Velka built. Okay, and then finally we have my team, because this team is also working for some people. It was an experimental team, but then people tested it, and it isn't as good as the other teams. This is the worst team. However, it is a no Velka team, using heroes a lot of people have, and it's still working. At least you're going to get a decent score, and get a good number of your chests opened. So that's why we have this team. Again, pink turn on the right, blue turn on the left, Damon and Ludwig on the Syllabon, Faramor and Shemira with the Blood Moon spell. Okay, so we have all of those teams. Now, what I want to do is we're going to run the top team. We've boosted the levels of our key damage dealers, Damon, Ludovic, and Baelran. I'm gonna do a couple of runs. I want to see the maximum score we can hit, but I also want to do a testing of at least one of the other team comps just to show you how well they can do, or maybe even we can try replacing Velka for Ludovic in that Psycho Pocho comp. I want to try it because yeah, we eventually testing will have to be done to decide what are going to be the best options. I know there's some people out there who do not have Velka build. That's kind of like what's always on my mind. I think there's some, like, obvious, I hope that most people have Velka and then you should run the Velka team. But if you don't have Velka, I want to come up with some good options, and that's why this Niru swap for Velka and some of the top teams is really, yeah, it was basically, I was happy to see that that's working on the VN server at a higher resonating level. So for today, the top score, I believe, well, my guild leaders hit 283 billion, which probably, again, we're not really going to be able to beat it by much. Even if I had 280 billion, I'll be happy. But yeah, as your levels increase, your score is going to drastically increase. That's basically what's happening in this Primal Lord. But the other thing is that your equipment, of course, is going to matter. And also, you want to boost the levels of your key damage dealers by those boosted levels. So we have Baelran, Damon, and Ludovic on the boosted levels, because those are going to be our major forms of damage. Velka also deals good damage, but I could only pick 3 who could be at the boosted levels. And whoa, 280. We had a 289 billion, so we even beat our guild leader today, so I guess we got lucky, or maybe he is saving some of his runs for a higher resonating level. But yeah, I wanted to have the big 3 to be on the boosted levels, and then I just left Velka and the twins behind, and it ended up doing pretty well. But Velka's damage output also is nothing like to underestimate. It is pretty high. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I am going to show you. I really want to try the same team with the Niru position swap, because I want to show you that it is eventually going to work. It is eventually going to work. I don't know if it's going to work right now though, because, and I guess we don't recommend to run it right now. So I want to try Psycho Pocho's comp. I just want to do a benchmark of it with the current resonating level we're at to see the difference between the two teams. Let's go ahead. So we want to have, you want to have a lot of heroes on the boosted levels. Like Pandora deals that HP loss damage, which you want. And I think we also want to have Shemira, who probably is going to out damage Velka. So I'll have Shemira, Damon, and Pandora on those boosted levels. Let's go ahead and, we'll watch this comp. Why not? Let's watch it and see what happens. So, yeah, when we get the charm upgrades, this team is going to become even better because, of course, it's going to boost your stats, but also it's going to, like, boost Pandora's damage boost that she gives to Shemira with the higher quality charms. But you're seeing here, Shemira is good to slot into these teams because she will shield herself, and that is going to cleanse those dread stacks off of herself, which is very important. Whoa, twins took a lot of damage and even were at the risk of dying. They barely survive. I wonder, yeah, I think this may also be another reason that potentially this team will need a higher resonating level, because like I said, when we get towards the end of the Primal Lord and we're at a higher resonating level, then this team is going to become even better and even more, is going to basically be the best no Baelran team. But right now, I think if, for example, your twins die too early, like is what's happening here, like my twins barely are surviving with a sliver of health every single hit from the boss. The thing is, yeah, until you have that better survival, that's probably what the problem that is happening here. Twins are still somehow alive. We're going to end up with a really good score for a no Baelran team. Pandora goes down with 16 seconds left, but the rest of the team is all alive. So I think we got overall pretty decent RNG. Not the maximum RNG. Of course, if Pandora would have lived, that probably would have been the perfect RNG. But looking at it, like, I mean, 225 billion damage for a no Baelran team is very solid. It's very solid, and it is competitive, and we don't even have the boosted levels on Velka. Maybe we should have even boosted levels of Velka because she outdamaged the Shemira. But anyway, it just shows you that this team is going to really compete with the top teams as well, especially as our levels get higher and higher. Okay, now what I want to do is now we will just show the Kicks G formation, but I want to show it with the no Velka. I want to show this Kicks G formation with no Velka because this is like going to be one of those budget teams that can be run. Pink Twin on the right, Blue Twin on the left, Damon and Ludovic on the Celebon, Faramor in front of Ludovic, and Niru in front of the Blue Twin. Yeah, I want to show this team. So we're gonna have the boosted levels of Ludovic, boosted levels of Faramor, Niru and Twins are just supports. And I want to watch it because I want to see the survival, what is gonna happen here. Because both Niru and I think Twins have a risk of dying. And Niru, he doesn't shield himself. That is the major issue. And that's why I look his Dread. He's just gonna walk in and be defeated. Right? Yeah, he just gets defeated. So that is a problem with Niru. However, I mean, as long as basically he's here. He's not really here to deal damage. He's here to give his charm quality bonus to someone. And like here, he's also giving the revive to the twins. So I don't know. It may just be enough to have it set up like this. Let's see what happens. Like we hit 225 billion damage with the Pandora team. And we got pretty near to maximum RNG. We just needed the Pandora to survive for the last 15 seconds. And we would have gotten the maximum score potential. And this one, I mean, if we could hit even 200 billion damage with it, I would be really happy. Because this is like a no Velka team. Just having Niru in place of the Velka. So this is like one of the most budget teams you can run. And your Niru just is basically here to die. But it probably, I mean, Velka then could probably work at lower ascension too and would probably just overall be better compared to Niru. But look at this. We're going to end up 224 billion, almost 225 billion. Is basically almost the neck and neck with the other team, and this is not even using Velka in the team, it's just using Niru. So basically just some other team options to consider. I think the Pandora team really is going to come online when we get those red charms, legendary charms, and when we also have that higher resonating level, and then it will be the best no Baelran team. But for right now, all of these no Baelran teams are working and they're all doing similar damage. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Hopefully it's helpful. If there's any other team or any other formation that worked for you, feel free to share that in the comment section. That is much appreciated. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There is a link to that in the description of this video in a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.